Russia. 1685. The new monarch, Peter I, has just been crowned as the Tsar. He was determined to make Russia the ligature of Europe. With Russia being so big, there were many options to expand south towards the Black Sea, Central Asia and the Caucasus, west into Poland, and north into Sweden. Expanding south into the lands of the Crimeans would be a viable way of acquiring a warm port for Russia. Same with expanding north. However, Sweden is much stronger than the Ottomans. During the time of troubles, the Swedes have taken these lands from Russia. Taking these back could allow the Tsar to expand into Estonia, which is also eyed up by Poland, perhaps even take Finland. Now Poland also took Russian land during the Troubles, and must be returned eventually. But for now, it was decided to focus all attention on fighting the Ottomans. By late 1683, the Russian armies have been recruited and ready to be ordered to march into Crimea. The plan was rather simplistic. 2 armies march southwest, group together, then cross into Crimea via Armyansk. However, since the Crimean Khanate was a vassal of the Ottomans, 2 more armies were to be recruited in order to march across the Dnieper River and take the northern Caucasus coastline, controlled by the Turks. In November of the following year, this plan was put into motion when Peter declared war on the Crimean Khanate. Predictably, later, the Ottomans declared war on Russia in response. The Russian army was incredibly successful, taking territory without any opposition. Across the river, the Ottomans have brought a numerically inferior force. After defeating the only Ottoman force in the region, occupying Crimea could now proceed unimpeded. The Treaty of Kharkov, signed in mid-1865, Russia gained total control over the Sea of Azov, all of Crimea's territory on the mainland, the entire coastline in the northern Caucasus. Kerch now became Russia's first port on the Black Sea. Seeing the tremendous success of his Crimean campaign, the Tsar decided to solve the problem that has plagued Russia for decades: Kazakh raids into Russian territory. Kazakh cavalry has been making incursions into southern Russia, raid and pillage the local settlers to extract what few money the peasants could offer in exchange for being left alone. But if the raiders deemed that the money being offered was not enough, they would take the poor souls with them to sell them into slavery throughout Central Asia. In order to teach these raiders that they cannot enslave Russia's citizens, would require Russia's own incursion into Kazakh lands. While he was preparing to make war on the Kazakhs, an outbreak of yellow fever in the Russian Far East had begun, devastating the population. By the end of its outbreak, tens of thousands have already died. In 1887, without issuing an official declaration of war, the Russian army began marching all over Kazakh territories, burning down enemy camps and villages. Peter was intent on demonstrating what it meant to trifle with him and his Russia. In response, the Kazakhs tried to distract the Russian army by rushing into Russian land to raid town after town. However, these squadrons would end up destroyed one after another. The biggest Kazakh army was found in the western part of their realm. It is this that managed to defeat one of the Russians' armies. However, this army was too unorganized, allowing Peter's armies to surround them and destroy them. With the bulk of the enemy's forces wiped out, there was nothing to stop Russia from enforcing its will in the peace treaty, thereby making southern Russia safe for living. Now that Russia was safe from the southern directions, Peter decided not to waste any time and began forging diplomatic relations with Europe's most advanced and progressive countries, mainly Britain, Prussia and the Netherlands. Alongside that, the Tsar began Russia's path towards colonizing the New World, founding the Alaskan Governorate in 1895. However, he did not want to limit his American ambitions to just Alaska, so he ordered his sailors to set for territories of California, having Mikhailgrad founded by 1899. While the Russian government was preoccupied with settling North America, 2 disease outbreaks took place in East Asia and the Baltics of tuberculosis and yellow fever respectively. In 1701, news broke out that the Spanish colony of New Spain has rebelled, with the Mexican Empire being proclaimed. Same was with Peru as well as New France against the Kingdom of France. This created the perfect opportunity to strike and take all of the now Mexican Californian lands, all the way to Baja California. Very soon, Peter ordered the Russian colonial army to invade.